In this video, we're going to review the order of operations, often known as "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," as a way of remembering this, or sometimes as PEMDAS. Remember, the first step is always the please, okay, or parentheses. This means to do any of the work inside the parentheses first, beginning with the innermost set of parentheses. What this can also include is fractions. So, for example, if I had 1 plus 4 over 5, it is not written, but the numerator is actually within parentheses. So I would do the 1 plus 4 before then dividing by 5. Okay, so the first step is do any of the work within parentheses. The second step is to do anything of the exponents. Once again, an exponent looks like 4 raised to the second power, which actually means 4 times 4, which in this case would equal 16. Okay, so I would do anything, once I do anything inside of parentheses, I would next look towards the exponents. The third step is to do multiplication and division from left to right. One caution here with order of operations. If I gave you something like 16 divided by 2 times 4. Okay. Sometimes your gut instinct will be to do the 2 times 4 first, but actually since it's multiplication and division from left to right, whichever comes first, I would actually do the division first. 16 divided by 2, I would get 8. I would then multiply by 4, which would get 32. Okay. If I did it the incorrect way, 2 times 4 would give me 8. 16 divided by 8 would be 2, which is quite a bit different than the 32 that is actually the answer. If I did want to do the 2 times 4 first, I would need to do 16 divided by, and then in parentheses 2 times 4. And because the parentheses are there, that would say do the 2 times 4 first. But if there are no parentheses, I would have to do that division before I did the multiplication. If it was rewritten as 2 times 4 divided by 16, I would do the 2 times 4 first to get 8, and then I would divide by 16. So it's either multiplication or division, whichever comes first. Similarly, the operation you do last is the addition and the subtraction, also from left to right, which means that if I have a subtraction first, so something like 8 minus 2 plus 1, I would need to do the 8 minus 2 first before adding the 1. So I would get 6 plus 1, which equaled 7. Okay. And once again, like the multiplication, if I did want to do the 2 plus 1 first, I would need to write it 8 as 8 minus parentheses 2 plus 1, in which case 2 plus 1 would be 3, 8 minus 3 would equal 5. Okay, so pay a close attention to what these order of operations are. A couple of examples just to walk through, always remembering, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, even if it helps for you to write this in the upper corner just to make sure you're going in the right order. So let's look at letter A. Do I have parentheses? No. Do I have exponents? No. Do I have multiplication or division? Yes, I do. Right here. So I'm going to rewrite this as 1 plus 10 times 2, or 5 times 2, which is 10. Okay, you'll notice I'm writing the answer right underneath, just so I can clearly show my work. Okay, 1 plus 10 will then be 11. Okay, and I'm going to circle my answer, or you can put a rectangle around your answer just to show me that that really is your answer. By the way, this is what's called an expression. An expression is basically a problem where there is no equal sign written. That would be an equation, okay? But since there is nothing that's equal to, it's called what's called an expression. And most times the directions will be to simplify the expression, okay, which basically means work out, get the answer, which in this case is 11. Okay, it's not solving technically because it's not an equation. You're not solving for a particular value. You're finding what the answer is. So you're simplifying, or the text will also say find the value, which basically means get down to this answer. Okay, work it out as far as you can go. Okay, so let's find the value, or let's simplify expression B. Okay, do I have parentheses? Why, yes I do, right here. So 8 divided by 2 will be 4, and I rewrite everything around it, 20 minus, okay, and then the times 3. The only thing I've changed is what the 8 divided by 2, what the parentheses is. Do I have exponents? No. Do I have multiplication or division? And actually I do, right here, 4 times 3. So I'm going to rewrite everything else, 20 minus, and then the 4 times 3, which is going to be 12. In this case, 20 minus 12 will then equal 8. So I'm going to put a big box or a circle around it just to say 8 is my answer. For expression B, or expression C, once again I go down the list. Do I have parentheses? Yes, right here. 3 minus 2, or 3 minus 1 equals 2. I have 1 plus 4, and I'm going to multiply by 2. By the way, there's 3 ways of writing multiplication, okay, with an X, like we saw in letter A and B, okay, but a lot of times the X will get confusing when we get to algebra. So instead of using the X, so let's take the 5 times 2, we can also write 5 with a dot and a 2. Okay, the dot means multiplication. Once again, this is a little bit better sometimes than writing the X, but sometimes it's hard to see the little dot, especially if you're writing it quickly. So a lot of times in math, we'll actually use the parentheses to also mean multiplication. Okay, so let's return to our problem. We have 1 plus 4 parentheses 2. I do have parentheses, but there's one answer within it. Okay, so I've already simplified that. I don't have any exponents. For multiplication, I actually do have a multiplication, the 4 times the 2, which is going to be 8. So I have 1 plus 8, which is going to give me the value of 9, my answer of 9. Okay, so hopefully this has been helpful to you, and I look forward to practicing order of operations with you tomorrow.